Hello, I'm Bo Huang, CFA, and welcome to the CFA UK in Conversation podcast. This is the show for investment professionals all about issues, interests, and insights in today's profession. In this episode, we'll be talking to Emma Cleveland, founder and managing director at Cleveland Co., a legal advisory and training firm, asking about her views on how to manage a high-performing diverse team during the COVID-19 period. Hello, Emma. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now, today we're not going to discuss about investment-related topics because actually more and more CFA UK members are interested in their career development. And according to our survey, actually more members are interested in how to be a good leader. So actually leadership skills and soft skills are the key I would say, hot topics that our members need more and more support from us. So we'll be very interested in your view about how you have led your team, a high-performing, actually very diverse team, and during the difficult COVID-19 periods. Can you share us with some of the good things or the practices that you have been put in place?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely been an interesting time. And I think for a lot of us, the first time that we've experienced something like this. So it's been something that I've tried to sort of challenge within the team, but within the context of us always having open communication within the team, because a very collaborative environment already. So it's always nice to make sure that when you're dealing with these things that everything is communicated and you take feedback from the team as well as the other way around. So happy to chat and share what we've been doing anyway.
Yeah, that's very good. So how do you feel about using Zoom and our Teams or these kind of virtual tools to communicate with your team? Because I think some managers still feel that it's difficult to communicate this way because you don't see the face of your team, and sometimes difficult issues are still very hard to communicate it by Zoom.
Mm. Yeah, I think that we're quite fortunate that when I set up the firm, we set it up to be very agile. So we already used all of these tools as normal course of business, and we have been since inception. So and actually, it's even part of our recruitment process. So I think that we didn't find it as difficult as perhaps other firms that always had that FaceTime. That's not to say that we don't have FaceTime, because we have an office. Just using the tool, so that helped. But I think that one of the things that we did and I did quite early on was in January, when I saw the data in China, I decided to test our business continuity plan and have everyone work from home for a period of 2 weeks. And we tested our systems and our interactions and maintaining sort of collaboration within the team. And there were learnings that we took out of that, which when we actually shut in March, we were able to apply those learnings. And it's been, I think, a much smoother ride because we had that test early on.
Yeah, it's good to know, especially it looks like that you have been very well prepared in advance of the events, although we don't forecast these kind of things anyway. But with regards to yourself, especially for people like us who have children, young children, and go to school, for managers, entrepreneurs who need to look out for new clients, maintain existing clients, at the same time have to do homeschooling. How do you feel the challenge?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have 2 children myself. And obviously when we went into lockdown, they were at home. And my husband initially we were both trying to work. So figuring out the new schedule, if you like, was complicated. And with me running my own firm, I have very little capacity, during normal school hours, unfortunately. So we sort of split it where I did the program and the curriculum and ordered books, and I did sort of preparation in the evenings and on the weekends, and then he would do the sort of the day-to-day bits and pieces when they needed help. Fortunately, they had online school, which really helped. So, it's just balancing all those things and, again, dare I say, working as a team even at home.
Exactly.
Because it's got to work.
I guess that it's a challenging period for all the parents. So we need the support of the other half as well. Probably the other half doing more cooking or more, support for the family during this challenging period.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we do things like I get up. I'm always up early. So I get up and I prepare myself for my day. And then I'll get the kids breakfast and sort of get their stuff out for the day. And then I sort of clock off kid duty and he sort of takes over. And the evenings he does the evening set. And then I do the bedtime routine. So it's all mixed in.
Yeah, so it's all very well organized. And we have to adapt, actually, all of us. And now, actually, with more easing going on, more firms actually have been encouraging their employees to go back to work in the office. Although there are different practices in the city, for example, some of the large asset management firms, such as Schroders, have been announced recently that they would like to encourage their employees to work from home permanently. So what kind of practice you are adopting at your firm, and what kind of a flexible schedule you think would be, useful going forward?
So my personal view is that I don't think anyone should be required to go back into the office at this point. So that's what we've applied, and I'm allowing people to make their own choice. And as a result, we don't have anyone really going into the office, which is fine because, as I said, we all use the tools and we work together already using those tools. But, there is obviously things that are better face-to-face. But through this time, I guess you have to adapt. And the way that you use the tools, the way that you communicate with people has to be right for the person that you're communicating with. And so I think we all are adaptable and we can compromise and work through it. But I think as a manager, you're the one that has to figure out how you adapt for your staff.
Yeah, good to know. And do you have the same kind of practices with regards to the senior members of the team or the junior members of the team? Do you use in different coaching methods during the COVID-19 or post-COVID-19?
Yeah, we do at the moment. I think that our recruitment process is quite vigorous, and our values for the firm are intelligence, partnership, and drive. And so when we recruit to those values, which means that typically the people that join us are very autonomous and accountable, and they work hard. And if you don't, unfortunately, this isn't the place for you. So I think at this point, we are hiring people, and we've continued to do that through this period, and we've hired them virtually without any meetings, like a lot of other firms. I think that longer term, though, so we run a graduate program, and we actually have 2 interns that are starting in the next couple of weeks. They're going to be virtual internships. But when we hire people, those graduates is what concerns me, because we've had graduates in the past and they've not obviously worked before. So even little things like getting up at a regular time and making sure you're in the office on time and learning how to present yourself and dress and communicate in a professional way are all things that I think you learn from being in an office, a professional office environment. Mm-hmm. So I think that we're not going to recruit that category at the moment because that would be too difficult. But, maybe when we're through this period, then we'll definitely get back into that.
Okay. And actually, I noticed that you have quite a diverse team from very different nationalities. So, and also all of your lawyers, actually, your team are female. So is it a coincidence or is it a specific recruitment criteria in place?
Yeah. So we definitely... So the first thing is diversity is definitely part of our recruitment process. I'm a true believer of different backgrounds and experiences bring different inputs, and into a small team where we are working really efficiently and well. It's good to have those different inputs, and only going to recruit from Oxford or Cambridge. I think that you should recruit from everywhere, and it's about recruiting the right person. And actually, the right person is the one that has the soft skills that you need, that the sort of the drive and the partnership ability and the intelligence that are our values. So if you recruit for those personal characteristics and they've done a law degree, I don't think you can go wrong. I'd much prefer someone from a university that I'd never heard of who has all those characteristics and is eager to learn and really push their career than have someone who comes in from Oxbridge and is, doesn't necessarily portray those attributes.
So it looks like it's really a certain criteria that you're looking for, the quality and also the diversity you're looking into, rather than just so it's a coincidence. It's a female lawyer team that you are looking to all sorts of diversity.
It is. I mean, it's a unique diversity, I would say. But yeah, the fact that it's all women is complete just fluke. I think one of the interesting things that we find, which is actually triggered by our recruitment process, is that we have as the second stage of the recruitment process, there's an in-tray exercise, which is a written exercise, which lots of firms do. But we have basically a 98% dropout rate of men at that point. So we can have, for any role we advertise, we have up to 300 or more candidates that apply. So we get a diverse pool in terms of sex diversity. But yeah, by the end, they don't submit their written work. So,
Okay. Is there any parting word that you want to share with us today?
If we're talking about high-performing, diverse teams, one of the things that we have done is work with, he's a sort of strengths and super teams coach his name's Mike Pegg. And he is excellent. And we do a lot of work with him, and he's also part of our recruitment process to make sure that we are recruiting for our values, so that we can have this diversity and this high-performing team, which we have and we want to maintain. So we focus on strengths, we focus on developing strengths, and we focus on bringing a sort of a composite of strengths that complement each other within the team. So I think that, not everyone is good at everything, but if you can bring someone who's really good at, the technical stuff, and together with someone who's really good with client relationships and delivering to deadlines, you produce much better work.
Completely agree with regards to the complementary skill sets.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Emma, for being with us today and all the tips and advice that you shared with us with our CFE UK membership. Thank you very much for listening. Look out for our next podcast details in the regular CFE UK newsletter, or subscribe to CFE UK's SoundCloud channel. Find out more at www.cfeuk.org/podcasts. Thank you very much.